We've had the final game in the Isle of Man tournament just finished. It's finished FC Isle of Man 1, Altrincham 3. 3 second-half goals for the Robins, and Phil Parkinson, the Robins manager, joins us. Phil, I'm sure you're a lot happier after today's game than you were on Friday.
Yeah, I thought the performance was very similar to the first half on Friday, but we managed to find a way to find our players against the deep block. Our keepers have had very little to do, which it should be like that. It was one mistake. Owens undercooked his header back, and they've managed to exploit that. But that's what pre-season goals look like. Lads getting them sort of decision-making things right. And unfortunately, that one cost us there with the goal. But apart from that, I thought all round we dominated the game as we should. We scored 3 goals, which is great, against a team that didn't really move anywhere, and a team that did pose a threat on the break. So, yeah, all round, really pleased with everything. No injuries as well.
Full credit to FC Isle of Man. They put in a very good, disciplined first half performance. And I think we would expect, as the game wore on, chances would appear.
Yeah, but you say that. I watched them against Fleetwood, and they didn't fare too much better in their League Two. So we all we can do is play against what's in front of us. And what I wanted to see from the team is what they produced, an Altrincham team that dominated possession, which I felt we did against Radcliffe until we made all our changes, and then find a way to break down a deep block without allowing them to counter on us. So we reduced their threat to very little. Like I said, apart from a couple of crosses, I don't remember Louis having any saves to make. He caught a couple of crosses. Luke's had nothing to do apart from pick it out of his net one time. So it went the way it should go. And the most pleasing thing for me is we've come away. We've had 2 games under our belts. Everyone's got the minutes that they needed. That's our 3rd game. And we've got no injuries, so now we can start to build on that in terms of who's going to start to look like they're going to start games, because we've been fair with the minutes, and it gives us a platform to build. But the other bit with the festival is it's allowed the group to come together a little bit as well. We've been together for 4 days now, so yeah, whether we like it or not, we've been in each other's company almost 24/7, and it forces you to interact. It forces players to speak to players who wouldn't normally do that with in different environments. So it's been a multifaceted positive sort of process for us in an event. So yeah, all I'll take is positives from it.
And it's been a very different trip to our previous 2 trips to FC Isle of Man. One as a semi-professional team, and the other just after we'd turned professional, when we were in and out overnight and then back. This has been a much more expansive project.
Yeah, I can only thank the Isle of Man for inviting us, and Nigel Swinbank in particular for his organisation of it, and the backing of the board to allow us to act like a professional outfit. So where I say act like one, we are a professional team, but sometimes you don't act in a professional manner. And what I mean by that is that's not us. It's easy to miss the things that you've got to do. So catering for the players, I know it sounds really basic. They've really looked after the players while they've been away. They've not wanted for anything, so I can only thank the board for that. And I'd also like to thank the fans for coming to support us as well, because it's not an easy trip in terms of it takes a little bit of their money out of the pocket to come stay over. But I'd like to think they've had a worthwhile experience, seeing new players get off the mark as well in Keaton, James Gale. So that, like I said, there's been lots of positives from this festival for me.
Yeah. Keaton Ward, first goal for Altrincham, and James Gale 3 in 3 games, which is very pleasing.
It is. That's what you want from your forward, don't you? And he's scored different types of goals. He's a real handful up there, James. He's different to what we've had in the past. So we've probably had more forwards similar to their centre forward who are good at a little bit of everything. James is a big, bustling centre forward. Probably something the fans have cried out at me for a while. We've brought one in, and hopefully he can keep doing what he's doing. And then the lads around him, probably slightly different to what we've recruited in the past. And I'm just really interested to see how they develop and grow. And yeah, we've just got to be patient with them, and that's the thing, developing and growing them, because they're the types of players we've recruited. We've not recruited the finished articles. We've not gone out and signed who was your main man last season, who everyone we were like an Alex Reid, because we're not that club. We don't have them finances. We have to find these gems, polish them up, get the best out of them. And as we've seen with the front four who left us last season, they help us move forward and we help them move on. So hopefully we've got that next group coming through. But I'd also like to say a special mention. We're going on about the front lads a lot. I think Sam Reed's really been a standout performer on this festival. I think he's really showed his quality, and I'm ever so pleased that he's been able to do that so early, because he's a young lad coming into a new environment. So it's good to see him adapt so quickly.
And pre-season's all about building fitness, development, progressing the group and learning. What would you say has been the progression in the last few days, and the learning to take into the final 3 games of the pre-season schedule?
I think it's getting to know each other and how each other ticks on the pitch, because you can do as much training as you want when you're under the microscope, as we are as Altrincham coming to this festival. We're expected to beat the Isle of Man. We should beat Radcliffe because we're the league, but it doesn't always go that way. They're going to be pushing really high in their division, so that's always going to be a tough game. And I think it's emphasised how important our sort of 15, 16 will be for us, and if we can keep them on the pitch and keep them fit, I think we'll be a real strong outfit next season. But it also highlights if we miss a few players or get injuries like we have in the past, it'll be difficult for us, and there's no hiding away from that. So we've really focused on conditioning. We've really put a lot of time and effort into the pre-season preparation, the games, as we always do, but probably more so than we ever have before. And that should reap its rewards going into next season.
And finally, Phil, great to see Lewis Baines and Ollie Crankshaw out there this afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, Ollie didn't play in the first game because he's got horrific blisters, so we're hoping they've not flared up too much. He was only going to do half a game, but he felt he was all right, so obviously it's important to get the minutes in Ollie. And Baines, he's just a class act, isn't he? I mean, when he took that ball out of the air under a lot of pressure on his chest and just consummately plays it out, it just shows the measure of Lewis Baines and the quality that he's got. And when you put them all together, this is what I mean. We've not really put out our strongest team yet for a number of reasons. Remember, Billy Sass hasn't even travelled because we're trying to give everyone a fair crack at the whip to get the minutes under the belt, show up as well as they can. But I think we're fairly confident on who it is that's going to sort of drive us forward. And as I said, I think the whole group, that whole 16, 17, 18, are going to have to contribute, have got to be at it. And I think they've shown they're capable of that over the last 2 games.